These are the tools of the professional trader. This is the first in a 5-part series on neuMedia crypto trading triggers. This series includes introductions to trigger scripts, trigger tokens, the token calculator, backtesting, and the background trigger execution service.
When experienced traders follow the market for a significant time, they may see patterns emerge in the buying or selling of assets. Whether trading in stocks, bonds, fiat, or crypto, these patterns do exist. And like clockwork, some patterns can be anticipated. So the professional trader watches market trades searching for these patterns. They scour their favorite charts looking for that elusive opportunity to buy low and sell high for the awaited profit. For some day traders, the wait may be seconds apart. For longer-term investors, the delay between the buy and sell may be days or even months. In either case, the trader has to watch those charts carefully, knowing that any disruption in that discovered pattern may result in loss. And so the professional trader watches and waits and waits and waits. What if it were possible to describe a trading pattern? What if this description could include the signals to place market trade orders, and instead of waiting for the intended signal, it could trigger both buys and sells when certain events indicate? Historically, this type of auto-trading robot was exclusive to high-dollar Wall Street firms, and the complexity of implementing such technical programs was prohibitive to most professional traders. With neuMedia's Crypto Trader and crypto trading triggers, finally, the wait is over.
Triggers and trigger scripts are advanced trading topics, and the user should already be familiar with exchanges, market pairs, and basic trading practices.
Many traders are familiar with trading robots or bots. Triggers are not bots, nor are trigger scripts bots. Triggers are the next evolution in automated trading, and triggers are faster, easier to write, easier to modify and activate, and along with trigger tokens are more powerful than any previous attempts at navigating the complex world of cryptocurrency automated trading. To best understand neuMedia crypto trading triggers and how they function, we'll start by creating a new one. From the Crypto Trader main menu, select Triggers. On the left is a list of all locally saved triggers. Press the plus button at the bottom of this list to create the first trigger. Triggers must have a unique name. We'll call this new trigger my first trigger. For now, we'll leave the description and other options blank. With this new trigger, we can see the trigger script editor page. At the top of this page are some options that apply to how the trigger script is evaluated. The first is whether or not the trigger is active. Triggers will never be evaluated unless active, and you can set a trigger to active before completing a few steps. At the center of the trigger script editor page is the area where we can actually write the trigger script. Trigger scripts use the popular C# programming language syntax. The editor uses Microsoft's Visual Studio Code Editor layout, although other languages are supported. The most simple trigger script we can write returns a Boolean value, either true or false. Trigger scripts can return any valid object value, or nothing at all, but a script that returns true or false has a special meaning.
A trigger script that returns true is considered triggered. Once triggered, the trigger must be reset manually unless the auto reset trigger option is set.
With this most basic script, we can now save and compile. Compilation only takes a few seconds or less, and after successfully compiling the script, you are given the option of setting the trigger to active. That's all it takes. We are done creating our first trigger. When the trigger background processor is active, this trigger will now execute on a timed interval. Of course, triggers and trigger scripts can be much more complex, and there are many options to control the execution, activation, and condition responses based on more advanced trigger tokens and coding logic. These options will be discussed in later videos in this series. Most trigger options are controlled from the trigger script editor page. Some, however, are global across the crypto trader application. These include the trigger notification options. During trigger evaluation, certain events may occur that you would need to know about as soon as possible. For these events, notifications may be configured in the main page settings. From Settings, select Notifications. Here you can set when and how to send notifications. Options include in-app messages, cell phone text messages, and email. These settings should be configured prior to starting the background trigger service. Finally, we will look at some options of monitoring trigger evaluation and execution. Whether you have one trigger or many dozens running in real time, the status of each, as well as that of the trigger execution service, may be viewed from the main crypto trader application. A simple monitor window can be shown from the Utilities menu. For a more comprehensive view on trigger execution, simply display the background service monitor window, which shows the status of each trigger as is evaluated. This concludes our introduction to neuMedia crypto trader triggers. Be sure to check out our next video in this series, trigger script editing, and later videos on trigger tokens, backtesting, and the trigger script background execution service. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy trading.